Hi there. Now we're going to do lesson 135, which is such a powerful and profound lesson. And the title of this lesson is If I Defend Myself, I Am Attacked. This is such a key concept in the Course in Miracles. So let me start reading this lesson so that you can see what I mean. Paragraph 1. Who would defend himself unless he thought he were attacked? That the attack were real, and that his own defense could save him. Exactly. We only attack others because we have really believed others can affect us. Sentence number 2. And herein lies the folly of defense. It gives illusion full reality, and then attempts to handle them as real. The illusion that we can be attacked, the illusion that we are vulnerable. And if we are vulnerable beings, then we believe that we make that illusion appear real and justify our need to defend ourselves. Sentence number 3. It adds illusions to illusions, thus making correction doubly difficult. 1, I can be attacked. 2, I can attack others. 1, that I am vulnerable. 2, that others are vulnerable. We move into the level of the body being real. We move into the level of separation. We're saying that the illusion of another having more power than me, or me having more power than them, all kinds of aspects of the illusion of separation become real when the ego really believes that I need to protect myself. Now I am not safe in the mind of God. I am no longer trusting. I am clearly not going to practice the characteristics of somebody who is in alignment with truth, because I am going to be protecting myself. When we go into this idea of protection, we completely validate the ego's idea that we are weak, that we are, we're not the essence of the holiness and the divine beings that we are, that we're not entitled to miracles. So many illusions get grounded inside this one illusion, which is why we have to understand that defending ourselves is never going to yield to our invulnerability, to our magnificence. Let me keep reading. Sentence number 4. And it is this you do when you attempt to plan the future, activate the past, or organize the present as you wish. Because when we are in defend mode, we are definitely operating from past beliefs that we've been hurt in the past. Where else are you going to get your story that you're vulnerable? You're protecting yourself from what could happen to you in the future. So many crazy things get activated. Paragraph number 2. You operate from the belief you must protect yourself from what is happening because it must contain what threatens you. A sense of threat is an acknowledgement of an inherent weakness, a belief that there is danger which has power to call on you to make appropriate defense. The world is based on this insane belief. This is why we're constantly bombing other countries. We're attacking other countries. We justify it because we are perpetuating the story that we are only safe when we defend ourselves. So we have to have an army. We got to be at the ready. Now, I'm not saying that while we are in the illusion of separation, we don't have those forms of protection, because we're still operating in this three-dimensional world, and we will for quite a while. So there's a level of protection that we're going to do to ease our way out of the illusion. However, your mind needs to be focused on your invulnerability, in your power, in the fact that in your defenselessness is where your safety is. So the outer world will take care of the way that we handle things when it is ready, when the collective is ready. But your inner world needs to begin to be telling the truth. You need to begin to get honest with yourself and understand that the idea that you need to defend yourself is blocking you from what your ego is telling you, that you're weak, that you're not safe in the mind of God. That is really where I want you to go with this, is to understand what psychologically you are doing to yourself, weakening yourself by believing that you can be attacked by others and therefore need defending. So paragraph still number 2, sentence number 4. And all its structures, this is this world that we have created with all these beliefs, and all its structures, all its thoughts and doubts, its penalties and heavy armament, here we're talking about war, we're talking about jails, its legal definitions, and its codes, its ethics and its leaders and its gods all serve but to preserve its sense of threat. The whole world, we spend so much money on armies and militaries, in defending ourselves, in jails to put the people that we got to protect ourselves from. We have invested, legal system, so much in creating this idea that we have to protect from each other instead of actually communicating and cooperating and collaborating with each other, which we could if we were not in fear. Sentence number 5. For no one walks the world in armature, but must have terror striking at his heart. Yep, everybody who is protecting themselves, who is defending themselves, are operating with incredible fear. Paragraph number 3. Defense is frightening. It stems from fear, increasing fear as each defense is made. You think it offers safety, yet it speaks of fear made real and terror justified. Is it not strange you do not pause to ask as you elaborate your plans and make your armor thicker and your locks more tight, what you defend and how and against what? We don't ask these questions. Ego doesn't want us to ask these questions. Paragraph 4. Let us consider first who you defend. It must be something that is very weak and easily assaulted. It must be something made easy prey, unable to protect itself and needing your defense. What but the body has such frailty and constant care and watchful, deep concern are needful to protect its little life? What but the body falters and must fail to serve the Son of God as worthy host? Paragraph 5. Yet it is not the body that can fear, nor be a thing of fear. It has no needs, but those which you assign to it. It needs no complicated structure of defense, no health-inducing medicine, no care, and no concern at all. Defend its life, or give its gifts to make it beautiful, or walls to make it safe, and you but say your home is open to the thief of time, corruptible and crumbling, so unsafe it must be guarded with your life. So we have learned to worship these bodies, to believe that these bodies are who we really are, make it real, and in making these bodies real, we have totally and completely forgotten that what is really real is the energy that we are, the soul that we are, the spirit that we are, the eternal part of us is what it's real. But we have been bamboozled into believing that this physical thing that we adorn and we make so, we try to make it pretty and we do all kinds of things to it to make it so fabulous is really nothing more than an illusion itself. So we're protecting with an illusion that we need to defend ourselves, a tool, this body, that needs really no defense in and of itself, because when we get to the place that we understand what we are and our eternalness, then the body does not become something that we use to protect. It becomes just a communication device that would communicate how confident we are, how certain we are. And even in something as simple as my divorce from Ken, in his defending himself and attacking me that I could possibly cheat on him, he was defending the idea, protecting himself from the idea of feeling the pain of being cheated on, feeling the pain of betrayal. He didn't want to feel that pain in his body. But the thing is that until we get really clear that the pain that our body holds on to is the pain from unresolved experiences from the past, that because we're operating from the past, in the present moment, these things are getting activated for us to heal them and release them. Because humanity doesn't heal its fears, it keeps adding more layers of protection on top of fear after fear after fear. So do we do. Ken did that. He was putting on layers of protection to his fear of being cheated on, which means just being abandoned, not being valued. instead of addressing those things, we keep perpetuating that we need to defend ourselves from others. So I was doing the same thing when I was trying to defend myself, get him to see that I wasn't cheating on him so that it wouldn't affect my body. Who am I married to? Where do I live? Who is, who am I sharing space with? So whether it was his idea or his side of the fence in defensiveness or mine, it doesn't really matter. Whether it's our country or China or Russia, it doesn't really matter. When we are defending the physical, defending ourselves from the fear of what we might lose, we don't really know who we are. And until we sit down and talk about what really has value, we are just feeding our egos and perpetuating this illusion of separation, not coming to the place of healing, moving towards the oneness that is ultimately what we're here to do. Let's go to paragraph 6. Is not this picture fearful of all these things that we have to protect? Can you be at peace with such a concept of your home? We have really created the body our home and are so afraid of it. Yet what endowed the body with the right to serve you, thus accept your own belief? Because it is our belief that the body can be hurt. It is our belief that this body is what protects me and gives me life, is that has made us so fearful, because we don't understand that life comes from the Creator. It's our eternal self that never gets extinguished. This body has a starting and an ending point. It has an expiration date, and it will complete the journey that we're on in this incarnation. And to align with the body is to miss totally and completely the invulnerable aspect of our soul. Not that we don't honor the body, but the body is not our first line of defense. It cannot be. It cannot be the thing that we think is real, because then we're going to want to protect it. Paragraph still number 6, sentence number 4. It is your mind which gave the body all the functions that you see in it, and sets its value far beyond a little pile of dust and water. Who would make defense of something that he recognizes as this? Once we realize that the body is just really, it's a chemical factory, it's a biological factory, it's all of these things that are being guided with a mind that is using the body. So we need to go to our mind and begin to use the body as the communication device that it really is. Get our mind straight. Change these beliefs that say this body is who I am, that activates the fears that make us protected, that have caused all of the fears, that created all of the emotional wounding that we experience as children. Get the body set straight so that we can begin to use get the mind set straight so that we can begin to use the body as it should. So let's go to paragraph 7. The body is in need of no defense. This cannot be too often emphasized. It will be strong and healthy if the mind does not abuse it by assigning it to roles it cannot fill, to purposes beyond its scope, and to exalted aims which it cannot accomplish. Such attempts, ridiculous yet deeply cherished, are the sources for the many mad attacks you made upon it. For it seems to fail your hopes, your needs, your values, and your dreams. See, when we become so defensive about this body, protecting this body from what people could do to it, making us look bad, making us, feel bad, whatever it is that might be, when we put that much value on the body, we are actually not at all aware of the power that our mind has over the body, because the body then becomes this thing that becomes filled with illness, with weaknesses, with all kinds of things that age it faster. So this defensiveness is not just against others, but it is something that starts because we have made the body real and we're afraid that it might die, it might be affected. Paragraph number 8. The self, in quotes, the self that needs protection is not real. You're not your body. You're not your personality. You're not this individual being that you think that you are that needs to protect yourself. You are a divine child of God, holy, powerful, invulnerable, In your defenselessness, your safety lies. What you are is eternal. So our mind is being trained to develop a relationship with our eternal self. And when everybody on the planet develops a relationship with their eternal self, knows that we're all connected, we're all one, we're not going to need armies. We're not going to need to defend ourselves. We're not going to need to protect the bodies. So we have to do it individually so that it begins to move through the collective. And then we begin to understand what is true and not be defending illusions. So let me read this again, paragraph 8. The self that needs protection is not real. The body, valueless and hardly worth the least defense, need merely be perceived as quite apart from you, and it becomes a healthy, serviceable instrument through which the mind can operate until its usefulness is over. If we can begin to use this body like we do a car, we know we're going to get 15 years, maybe 20 years out of a car, and then we take it to the junkyard. We recycle it for parts or whatever it is that we might do. If we begin to use this body as a vessel that's going to have 100 years, can I express the truth of who I am? My eternalness is going to use this temporarily. How much love can I bring to the planet? How much goodness can I communicate? How much truth can I really share? So that I am a bringer of the love and light that I came to bring, and not be a fearful person thinking there's not enough love and light to go around. There's not enough money. There's not enough this, that, or the other. That it gives me this sense of fear. It sends me into protection. It makes me think that I've got to take care of myself because there's just not enough. And then it gives me permission to attack others. So the mind has to get cleaned up from these false perceptions so that we can begin to remember the truth and then use the body in service to that. And it makes the body healthier. It makes the body stronger. It makes the body last longer. So many things will shift if we begin to think and know the truth as the truth. Sentence number 3 in paragraph 8. Who would want to keep it when its usefulness is done? So once you're done with your body, you drop it. You don't grieve it. You just know it did its job and it's complete. Paragraph number 9. Defend the body and you have attacked your mind. For you have seen in it the faults, the weaknesses, the limits, and the lacks from which you think the body must be saved. You will not see the mind as separate from bodily conditions, and you will impose upon the body all the pain that comes from the conception of the mind as limited and fragile, and apart from other minds and separate from its source. Our minds have been filled by other minds of other people with misinformation. We got to clean up our mind and then begin to teach the truth to others through our body. Let our bodies communicate that we feel, strong, that we are healthy. We speak to our bodies. We speak to the truth of who we are. We create those neurological pathways that send the signals through our chemical factory that really support the youthing of the body. We can do that. Many teachers teach that. But until we come to terms and choose what is true and what is not, which we have to become aware of it, and choose to side with the truth of our mind, our body will continue to become the master that is basically, we think is the source of what tells us what to do, but it's really what's become the master is a mind that is untrained, run by our ego, that doesn't let us understand that we're one with the source. If we knew that, we wouldn't be defending the body. Let's go to paragraph 10. These are the thoughts in need of healing, and the body will respond with health when they have been corrected and replaced with truth. I mean, can you imagine when your body, you begin to know the truth, your body is going to become healthy. This is the body's only real defense, that you clean up your thinking. Me too. Yet is this where you look for its defense? You offer it protection of a kind from which it gains no benefit at all, but merely adds to your distress of mind. You do not heal, but merely take away the hope of healing, for you fail to see where hope must lie if it be meaningful, because we don't go to the mind for hope. Paragraph 11, a healed mind does not plan. It carries out the plans that it receives through listening to wisdom that is not its own. We must create the channel. We must open the connection to source. We've got to get quiet and in stillness hear Holy Spirit speak. Let me read this again. the body would do what it needs to do, because a healed mind does not plan. It's not figuring out the future, preparing the army to go attack. The healed mind is receiving information from the Holy Spirit through listening to the wisdom that is not its own. It waits until it has been taught what should be done and then proceeds to do it. You receive guidance, intuition. It does not depend upon itself for anything except its adequacy to fulfill the plans assigned to it. When you realize that you're entitled to miracles, that you are one with the mind of God, that you were designed for happiness, that you are the light of the world, you know, let me quiet my mind and receive what I need to know so that I can take care of this body vessel that allows me to express the love and light that I am here to bring to the planet. This is when, not my will, but yours be done, God. And for that, we must put aside this little self that we think we are that needs protection and align ourselves with the source of true power. Sentence number 5 in paragraph 11. It is secure in certainty that obstacles cannot impede its progress to accomplishment of answers come to you at last. So we do have an incredible opportunity to come to know the truth of who we are by aligning with the source of all that is. Paragraph 24. All your defenses have been aimed at not receiving what you will receive today. And in the light and joy of simple trust, you will not wonder why you ever thought that you must be defended from release. Heaven asks nothing. It is hell that makes extravagant demands for sacrifice. You give up nothing in these times today when, undefended, you present yourself to your Creator as you really are. You're not a body, you are free. You are not this mind. You are the essence of all that is, that has a mind to communicate with the Creator, that has a mind to align with Source, that has a mind which gives you access to the mind of God. And instead of blocking it with our own thoughts that miscreate and all that they do is make illusions, let's use our mind in alignment with the creative source of all that is and receive the guidance so that we can begin to heal our bodies, to use them, and to use them in service to the greater plan for all of us. You know, these bodies are here for us to use them to extend the love of God. This country, the United States of America, in its Constitution says that our work, you know, we were endowed by the same Creator to the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. We are not pursuing life, liberty, and happiness because we're so worried about protecting ourselves from death and from misery and from scarcity. When our mind is set straight, you know you're one with all that is. Kindness, gentleness, tolerance, trust, joy is what gets activated. All of those things heal the body. And then you live longer as an expression of love and light. Isn't this beautiful? Paragraph 25. He has remembered you, the Creator. Today we will remember Him. For this is Easter time in your salvation. And you rise again from what was seeming death and hopelessness. Now is the light of hope reborn in you, for now you come without defense to learn the part for you within the plan of God. What little plans or magical beliefs can still have value when you have received your function from the voice for God Himself. When you know that you were designed for happiness, for joy, for kindness, compassion, for deliverance of truth, it changes everything. But you have to be willing to give up protecting the body and considering yourself something weak and separate and that needs defending, and allow yourself to really accept your eternalness. Because when you begin to know that you're so eternal, nothing can affect you. When you begin to realize that you're part of something grander, my gosh, then you've got God on your side. Talk about the ultimate protector. Talk about the source of all power. But you've got to be willing to come to the Creator to get your guidance, your direction, what to do, and to receive your birthright, and stop protecting and defending what you've been indoctrinated into believing is who you are, which is the separate body, because it's not who you are. You are something grand and magnificent and that is so eternal and so powerful. And we need to train your mind to think correctly so that you can receive all of that goodness that is coming your way, because you deserve it. And the rest of the world deserves to receive it. And how are they going to get it if you and I don't be the examples of it? Paragraph number 26. Try not to shape this day as you believe would benefit you most, for you cannot conceive of all the happiness that comes to you without your planning. Learn today, and all the world will take this giant stride and celebrate your Easter time with you. Throughout the day, as foolish little things appear to raise defensiveness in you and tempt you to engage in weaving plans, remind yourself this is a special day of learning and acknowledge it with this. This is my Easter time, and I will keep it holy. I will not defend myself because the Son of God needs no defense against the truth of his reality. This is why Jesus was not defending himself when he was being accused and sent to the crucifixion. He knew he was not a body. He was free. He wasn't going to defend the body that he knew is not his truth. He was clear. I'm going to forgive these people. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know that we're one. They don't know that I'm eternal. They don't know that they cannot kill me. What I am is the life force that is always and forevermore one with the Creator. I just took on this body to come in here, bring them some love. They don't want to accept it. They're going to crucify me because they don't like the message that you all can get along. You all can love each other. You don't have to have all these rules and regulations. So they were feeling that Jesus was taking what the laws that they defended themselves with, that kept them apart from everybody else, that allowed them to condemn people, accuse people, attack people. So what did they do? They accused him, they attacked him, and they crucified him. And Jesus did not defend himself because he knew in his defenselessness his safety lied. He knew in his consciousness that the part of him that was eternal was not going to be filled with information that wasn't true. He was filled with the love of God, and by gosh, he was bringer of love and light that 2,000 years later we're still talking about what happened way back when, because it was so powerful. Why? Because his message was consistent about love. He did not defend himself. He was teaching that he was love and powerful and almighty, and he was the way, the life, and the truth. Why? Because when you know that you are eternal and you listen to the will of the Father, Father, what would you have me do? You and I are one. There's nothing in the world that scares you. Then you become a real teacher of what we all are. Can you imagine when there are more of us Christ consciousness beings that have awakened, accepting the truth of who we are? Powerful, powerful things. We are the second coming, and we are training our mind to accept the truth of who we are. Thank you so much for doing this lesson with me, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.